7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 FM.com.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Join Rashawn Jackson, Terrell Farley, and Jake Bachhoven for the Captain and Ticket Water Cooler Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Brand Pilates Studio at 84th and Holdridge. That's this Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Club Pilates at 84th and Holdridge.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at PremierDW.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
Arnold's Tavern in Havelock is the place to be this summer and the best place in town for shuffleboard. Come on Wednesdays and learn from some of the best players in town for the Shuffleboard Corner. Come on Sundays for Open House League all day starting at 11 a.m. and enjoy $3 tall boys and $3 wells. Shake off the start to the work week with karaoke on Monday nights. And don't forget, happy hour is every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and you are always welcome to bring in your own food. Arnold's Tavern in the heart of Havelock.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Join Matt Davis in the studio, president of the 1890 Initiative, Nebraska's NIL operation.
We have some big things that we're going to announce, I think, in the next, few weeks, few months for sure. So I think 1890 and the trajectory for our company is really good. I think we have the ability to have a top, 5 collective in the country. I think we're trending that way.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, showers from likely this morning, then mostly cloudy skies will take over this afternoon. We'll see a high of around 84. Tonight we'll see a chance of storms late, otherwise mainly cloudy skies and a low of around 71. And tomorrow we'll see partly sunny skies with a high of around 86. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked up by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There it is, man. We are back. Jay Foreman in Austin holding it down today. DP's traveling, handling his business, doing what he do and does what he does. This is old school, brought to you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese, special ingredients and butcher shop, located at 84th and Havelock, every type of meat and every type of cut. There's another location that is open, and 30th and Yankee Hill. I always mess Pine Lake up in Yankee Hill. But so 2 locations at both ends of the city, but we are thankful for their support. A lot of news going on. Obviously, Husker news. Miles Farmer is in the portal. You know, I didn't really know. I thought the portal was closed, but I think since he's a graduate, the portal is always open, which is also something that coaches have to be wary of, right? And this, we'll get into this situation here very shortly. And also, you know, it's advantageous for the players, you know, because, and you know who was the first one kind of to make it fashionable to be a graduate transfer? Do we have to give away any tickets? No.
Let's go with no, just because I'm not sure.
Okay. For the text line, if you text in who this guy was that transferred, he ended up playing. Here, let me Google this first.
Double check it all out.
Yeah, because I know he did. He was a basketball player.
I'm trying to think through it.
Hold on.
For the grad transfers.
Hold on. It was the first one, and because he went to a major school. Let me get this. Hold on. So, let me see. Well, anyways, well, when you're able to grad transfer, it gives you more power, I guess, negotiating power, right? Because then, therefore, you know, if you feel like the situation isn't ideal for you, you can go somewhere right away. Versus when the portal is closed, which they did, so they alleviate this. You know, say you're undergrad, you can't. So, in this situation with Miles Farmer, you know, it's interesting in the sense that you know, now it was able to go into the transfer portal. We'll see where he ends up. You know, everybody's trying to, you know, guess where he's going based on past relationships to either Syracuse or Wisconsin. And it's just, you know, it's an unfortunate situation. Miles is a good kid, you know, and you know, I don't know the details of it, you know, and it just obviously seems to be a accountability thing, and maybe it's been something that's building up to it. And once you kind of don't bring them with the, you know, the 122 to camp, which I think from a coach's standpoint, they're doing it to set the standard. He did it with somebody that he knew longer than Miles, right? And Fleek sent him home. He did it at the beginning of the spring with Anthony Grant. He's done it probably with other people that maybe we haven't heard, you know, from. And then obviously with Miles and this, how you accept it. I don't know the conversation between Miles and Coach Cooper as far as where he would be in or with or when or if he came back. You know, that could maybe lead to the decision. But ultimately, you know, you have to, regardless of where you end up, you have to look at how you got here to this point. Is it a habitual thing or a habit thing from the past staff that kind of like, okay, you know, whether it's a tardy thing or being there or whatever it is, you know, a kid can't tell me it's nothing.
It's never nothing.
No, it's never nothing. I mean, we're like it can't be nothing. So it's got to be something that wasn't getting done to the standard that pretty much 95% of the team has been doing. So that's where the questions land. But then also what you have to be wary of, regardless if, say, like I'm a coach and Austin, you're in this situation and I've coached you before or knew you before, I'm still going to ask questions. I'm still going to say, Austin, you can come because I do know you, right? And I say I recruited you originally, but I'm still going to ask you questions. I'm still going to ask you questions. I'm going to still do my due diligence because things can and will change.
So let me ask you this. So you're the coach, you're recruiting me in the transfer portal. Do you reach out to me first, or do you reach out to, like, say you have a pre-existing relationship? Do you reach out to my parents first? Do you reach out to my old coach first before you talk to me? What's that order?
Well, if it's somebody that coached me before, I would probably think that you're gonna reach out to. I'm gonna text you first. I don't know if they're the tampering rules, but I doubt that it means anything because it happens all the time.
Right. The reason I ask is because if we have that prior relationship, maybe you'll be able to tell if I'm, BSing you, trying to sell
Right.
you a bill of goods. So
Right.
you're not just going to take my word for it as the player.
Right.
You're going to go ask other people to see if what I tell you is true, or if I'm being a little snot-nosed punk who's trying to get away with, not working hard. Not saying that's Miles Farmer's situation, but that's why you check.
Yeah, you got to do it. You know them better. You know their work habits. You kind of know what you maybe, or the situation is, and it is different. It is extremely different down there, based on the way it was before. I mean, it is. I mean, it's from everything to as simple as they got they got a great training table down there with phenomenal gourmet food, and you're expected to eat at the training table. Not once a week, like it's at leisure, every day. You're expected to be in class. I'm assuming majority of time, right? Instead of doing online. That's definitely different. Now, granted, with COVID, things are different before, whatever. So
Right.
that's maybe
And with him being a graduate, maybe.
right.
But he has to
just in
take classes still.
But in general,
Right.
as a regular student athlete, it's different, or football, and that's different. If there's things, extracurricular stuff that we see that they're heavily involved in, or if there's a position type of deal that they've made I don't want to say a tradition, but something that they decided to do together, like the linebackers would get together, say we get together, whether it's watch tape or we get together and go out to eat or go and eat together at the training table on this day or whatever the deals are, you're expected to be there. And that's drastically different if you haven't done it, especially if you haven't done it for 4 or 5 years. It is different. But I would say there's guys that you're pretty close with that seem to do it. Now, you might not like it, right? And that's a lot of times in football, you're going to do a lot of things you don't like.
Right.
I don't know how many times I did 9-on-7, 5, 6, 7, 8 practice row. I did not like it.
Gross.
I could have very easily just been one of those guys and say I'm not going to do it or whatever, but I did it. And then there's things that we had to do sometimes as teammates or as a teammate that I didn't like doing, or didn't feel like I wanted to do or should do, but you do it for the betterment of the team. And then ultimately, when you're doing it, it's really not so bad. I also would ask kids that have aspirations to go to the pros, and say it's a coach that comes in, and you know what? Sometimes a coach can come in. They know that they're going to be there. They don't have any prior relationship with you, the holdovers, and so they're going to push you to see who's going to get in line. Okay, right? And you might not like that, or you might not like him or her as your coach. I can't tell. I mean, there's coaches I necessarily didn't care for, but here's the difference. A coach at this age, say I'm a coach, and I know that they have some coaches that are extremely young. We got a 23-year-old coach or 24-year-old coach. We got some other young
and a 29-year-old.
We got some young coaches, but at the end of the day, you're 22 years old. I'm still your coach. I'm not here to be your friend. I necessarily don't need you to be all lovey-dovey and like me like I'm one of your boys. Because really, to be honest with you, I'm not. I'm your coach.
I can't be.
Well, yeah, I can't be, and I don't want to be at this point in time. I'm your coach. You're the player. We can have a great relationship, and I do care about you as a person, a student athlete, and of course, as a football player, so forth and so on. But there is a line, though. And, Coach McBride, I can't tell you how many different times. Boy, I used to look at Coach McBride, man. I'd be like looking at Coach McBride, and he wasn't seeing me looking at him. I used to look at Coach McBride when he used to when he tightened me up a little bit. I was like, man, I want to bust you upside your head right now. I'd be looking at him like, man, you look, but I respected him. I still liked him. He still liked me. I didn't like him at that moment, right? But after I graduated, our relationship changed. I loved him then, but now I love him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's different.
You can appreciate it better.
Yeah, and we're grown men. But he's still my coach. And if he would tighten me, like when I see T.O., I tighten up. But I love him differently now than as a player.
Mhm.
And if you're looking for that, try to be friends with, then it's going to be hard for you to go and do some things on the football field. And so maybe that's part of it. Nobody knows. It's just unfortunate where it's at right now.
It is unfortunate, especially because when you look at the two most high-profile cases of this, it's with Miles Farmer, who is going to go into his 4th year in Nebraska. Second on the team in tackles, been around for a while, and Josh Fleeks, who played 5 years at Baylor, his 6th year here at Nebraska, right? These are older guys.
Yeah.
Fleeks is my age. Miles Farmer's in his 20s. And here's the thing. I'm 25. I'd like to think of myself as an adult. I know I got plenty of learning to do.
Right.
I still need people walking alongside me, to tighten me up, to make sure I'm doing the right thing, the right way, at the right time.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't want to absolve the players of their responsibility in this, right? It's their career. It's their future. They have ownership of it. It's one thing to, not agree with the coach's methods on the practice field.
Sure.
Right. And not want to do a drill, but participate in it because you want to be a member of the team. It's another thing to, not show up on time, to not go to the training table, whatever the issue was. That's a personal choice. That should have nothing to do with the coach. So while I can be sympathetic to the fact that maybe these guys didn't always have the best leadership in place to help them form and set those habits from a coaching perspective, at the end of the day, they're old enough to value their career how they want to value it and put it in their own hands.
Yeah, it is. I mean, a lot of these things are choices, and I'm sure when he's close. I mean, right now, wherever you go, there's going to be competition, and then you're behind the 8 ball there, where you're essentially behind. I would like to think, with Matt Rule's track record, he said he want Miles back, and I don't necessarily know if it was just coach talk, but
we have the clip. You want to play it real quick?
We're going to play it the next. We're going to break. Okay, so that I think that he would want him back because he's a productive player. He's second on the team in tackles. Last 6 or 7 games, he played a lot better football than he did in the first quarter. And so as you're coming in as a coach, that's something that you want to do because ultimately you want to put the best players out there, but you need to make sure that they're all in. And maybe that was or wasn't the case, and either way, it just didn't work out. But we're going to go take a quick break and come back, and we're going to play the Matt Rule clip, and we'll see if we can kind of listen between the lines and try to decipher some of the things. And maybe we could have guesstimated that we would be here before we did. This is Austin, or I'm Jay Foreman. That's Austin. This is Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
If you're an electrician, we've got a career for you. It's a career with employer-paid health care and retirement benefits. Join the IBEW Local 265 family. Work for one of our NECA contractors. Come to our job fair on August 3rd from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Holiday Inn, 2500 Tamarind Ridge Road in Southwest Lincoln. For more information, call Mike Murray at 402-875-1034. That's 402-875-1034.
Proud to be voted Best Vape Shop.
Generation V
Is thrilled to announce our newest location is now open at 27th and Superior.
Generation V.
Explore the largest selection of vape, Delta 8, Kratom, all your favorite brands of disposables, e-liquid, and premium THCA flower.
Generation V.
We'll guide you through our extensive collection to help you find the perfect fit.
Generation V.
With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, Seward, York, Kearney, and Beatrice. Visit our newest store now open at 27th and Superior in Lincoln. GenerationV.com. E6 contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: showers from likely this morning, then mostly cloudy skies will take over this afternoon. We'll see a high of around 84. Tonight we'll see chances from the lake, otherwise mainly cloudy skies, a low of around 71. And tomorrow we'll see partly sunny skies with a high of around 86. Meteorologist Kyle Husker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break, and on behalf of the entire 93.7 The Ticket team, we are excited to announce this fall we are teaming up with Husker Extra for the Big Red Brunch. We'll have big names from now and the past from Husker Sports, and that all starts on Wednesday, August 9th for the Big Red Brunch Golf Scramble at Tiburon Golf Club in Gretna. Sign up to play today at omaha.com and find the Big Red Brunch tab. You won't want to miss this on August 9th at Tiburon in Gretna.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join Rashawn Jackson, Terrell Farley, and Jake Bachhoven for the Captain and Ticket Water Cooler this Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the brand new Club Pilates studio at 84th and Holdridge. That's this Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Club Pilates at 84th and Holdridge.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday night from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Early Break with Sip and Jake.
So with Matt Davis in the studio, president of the 1890 Initiative, Nebraska's NIL operation.
We have some big things that we're going to announce, I think, in the next, few weeks, few months for sure. So I think 1890 and the trajectory for our company is really good. I think we have the ability to have a top, 5 collective in the country. I think we're trending that way.
Early Break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back old school. Jay Foreman running a little solo. My man Austin on the ones and twos. We're rolling together, not solo. We're going to get into a little Matt Rule audio. Obviously, addressing when this audio came out, he was addressing some other issues, which it seems like for him, he's had quite a few. But before we get into that, I want to talk about an event that's coming up. St. Monica's Amazing Chase, September 9th, 2023. It's a fundraiser for St. Monica's life-changing recovery for women, but it's a fun and challenging and rewarding day for all involved. Get on the website, stmonicas.com. Look for the information September 9th. Get a team and challenge some of your friends and family to pitch in and grow the event. I think it's the 17th annual, so it's been around for some time. I'm sure a lot more people know about it than I do. But we're going to answer some of the text as well here. Okay, I thought it was going to be a hard trivia question. We're not giving out anything. But the trivia question was, who was the first grad transfer that opened the floodgates? There was also one unknown texter, 617 or 3224. He said Russell Wilson. That's the most popular and the one that Wisconsin knocked it out. And I always tell the funny story about Russell Wilson. When I was getting towards the end of my career, Russell Wilson was working out with us. Me, Mashin Muhammad, Russell Wilson, NFL guys in Charlotte, and Russell Wilson was talking about how, like, in North Carolina State, the coach was like, doesn't think he's good enough. And I was like, dude, and I saw him throw the moose, and I was like, dude, you can play. You just got to find somewhere to play and then end up doing well. Bubba had Kevin Kruger. Nope. But the answer is Greg Paulus, right? And I was thinking about him because of Ron Paulus, who was earlier, I think it's his brother, older brother, but he played basketball at Duke, graduated, played 4 years at Duke, graduate transferred, and played quarterback at Syracuse. And for a basketball player that hadn't played football in quite some time, he was a pretty dang good quarterback for Syracuse.
They only went 4-8, but he completed 68% of his passes, over 2,000 yards, 13 touchdowns.
Right. Yeah. He was, I mean,
not nothing.
Yeah. And it was out of nowhere
Mm-hmm.
because he was kind of like a Duke. He wasn't quite on JJ Redick's level where people hated him just because he was a Duke player, but people didn't care for him too much. Obviously just because he was, highly recruited high school basketball player. And then for whatever, he still had the competitive edge in him, and he was a grad transfer. And to my knowledge, he was the first in, I think it was 2008 or 2009, and it seems like he was the first one that opened up people's eyes to that option. I mean, obviously Russell Wilson as well, and then next thing you know, we got the transfer portal, NIL, and stuff like. Not that Ron Paulus was championing for it, because he's a basketball coach at the University of Niagara who has a pretty good basketball program. But that's a pretty cool deal. Not only did he go from the basketball court to the football field, but the grad transfer that I didn't know about it till he did it.
Right. It really did open the floodgates. So he finishes out the 2008-2009 season playing basketball. And then that fall of 2009.
Yes.
He's playing football.
Yeah. But he went off the map. Like I don't know if he tried out for NBA teams. It didn't work out because it was like right before.
Well, he tried out with the Saints in May of 2010.
You know what I'm saying? And before he went to Syracuse.
Oh, yeah.
After playing basketball, then
right.
It just popped up. And I remember, I think I was like, they had that thing on USA Today. That was back when you actually read the paper. It popped up, and I'm like, is that him? Is that Greg? And then it was on ESPN, and it was a rule. And just like a regular, you know what? I would say this, Austin. Those dang Dukies, smart. They know all the rules. They know all the loopholes.
It's true.
And he jumped through there, and I think it worked out for Syracuse. I think it worked out for him. But it was pretty cool for him because, a lot of guys are good at quarterback in high school. He was legit. He was legit quarterback for Syracuse. Didn't win a lot, but he produced pretty dang well. But back to Matt Rule in the Miles Farmer. We're going to play the Matt Rule audio, and then we're going to try to decipher it after it. Hit it, Austin.
Miles Farmer. Miles was suspended to end the summer by us just for simple things, nothing major, just sort of some of our standards, and was not a member of the 120. So we'll wait and see how that all plays out.
Yeah, I think the thing that maybe it was telling that he wasn't part of the 120. Sometimes, I don't know that. I mean, I look at it. Well, why? I guess I look at it two ways. If there's some discipline that you can do as camp's going along, and you want him to be a part of the 120, is that, or does he have to clean up stuff outside of football to? And I don't know if there was a spot that, say, 120, but there's still 116 there. Or somebody gets hurt, you can kind of, somebody gets, dinged up, you can bring them in. Maybe that was something that kind of sent Miles over the edge. But listen, look, you got rules, you got to follow them. There's 120 guys that have followed them in some form or fashion that are there. And I don't think this was an impulsive decision from the staff. It doesn't seem like they got to win. You just don't not bring in a guy that's the second leading tackler and played the last 7 games for sure pretty dang decent. He got a lot better in those last 7 games, so it lets you know that when the focus was there, he became a productive player. And what is part of, like where DP said, that that defensive back room, you just assume Newsome, Hartzog, and Buford if he was healthy, but say Buford's going to be out for a while, most of the majority of the season. So you think Farmer, and then you could rotate a plethora of guys there, whether it's Omar Brown, Gifford, or whoever steps up. Singleton in that other safety spot. As a team, head coach, defensive coordinator, defensive back coach, that's a pretty good group to come in.
You like that versatility.
Well, yeah, and if I'm the new coach, it's like they just hired me. I like that I got 3 starters back. That allows me to coach them, right? and if they're a part of one, and now it's just two. It's the two corners.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have three of those guys that have actually played decent, you can kind of hopefully get them better. Not kind of, you will get them better, but then it allows you to have a snapshot for the younger guys to develop towards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the bigger problem is, and it's not the team, because I think they have Omar Brown, Singleton. You got a guy, I don't know what position he's playing because they're playing all over, like a Kobe Bretts. Is he finally healthy mentally and physically to go out there and use his athletic ability?
Mm-hmm.
You got Kane Williams. I think he's kind of more of a like rover linebacker now. But you got flexibility where you could, Gifford, that might have been like that kind of fifth kind of DB linebacker, might have to push him back and kind of be your in-box safety, or just have a constant rotation based on the game who's there. So you have a little bit of a cushion there. But ultimately, you're missing a player that was a big part of, I'm assuming, a big part of your initial plans. So when you come in, the shock treatment, you get guys that'll leave, you get guys that turn pro for no reason. All that's done. And then you get into your winter conditioning program. He went through all spring ball. I'll say, I'm sure maybe he was an after spring graduate. But then you must have went through summer conditioning in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the finish line, and your I's aren't dotted and your T's aren't crossed. I would venture, and this is without knowing any details, that's the player problem.
Right.
Because I'd like to assume that there was conversations before. So you want to make sure you get your ducks in a row and your house clean before you get, because ultimately, I will say this: running sprints, gassers. We used to run this thing. I always talk about the play drive that we used to run in Buffalo. I hated that because we'd run and do our agility drills and all that, and then we had to do 4 play drives.
Oof.
So if a play drive is this, at least and it was based on whatever position you did. So linemen would be doing theirs. I mean, I hated it because we did it with weight vests on, but it was good because I got to do it with Keith Newman, who we were drafted together, and we had a couple other guys in there as well. But it'd be hot out there in Buffalo. We'd just been running for however long, you know what I mean? And so it's 12 to 16 plays.
Whew.
And it's like, okay,
with a weighted vest on.
15-yard cover 3 drop, hook drop. Then you'd go back to the line of scrimmage. It tells you how long you have, or how fast you have to kind of sprint or jog back to the new line of scrimmage. So it's 100 yards. And then you get a break. I hated doing that, but it's worth it because the payoff is, in my case, training camp. In their case, fall camp or training camp, whatever you have it. It's just there's nothing, that you can do. But ultimately, if I'm a coach in this situation, both position coach and head coach, I'm gonna have to address it. Don't go into details. Say this is what we needed to do. What we expected. 99 of you 100 guys did it. One didn't. There was an option to come back. Okay, This is what you had to do, and I'm sure they already knew this, but this is what I had to do. This was not met, or before they could even go along the process of coming back, chosen to go into the transfer portal, address it, and then within 2 days, the team kind of gets past it. It's no different than a surprise cut in camp, a surprise trade. Somebody might get, rolling ankle. It's going through the channels of gossip and talk, right? But you have to redirect that to the purpose of, what we're here. Every day that we are at practice, that we've got to focus on Minnesota, and that's what you have to do. Start really hammering Minnesota into their and your business, which is the team, and the team has to understand, if it's something that I mentioned before, whether it's checking in the weight room, going to off the books meetings with other teammates and stuff like that, or participating in team building programs. Everything that you do or should do from here on out should be the focus to put you in a better position to beat Minnesota on August 31st.
Right. Because you can't linger too long on Miles Farmer if you're a member of the team, right? I'm sure he was, your buddy, your pal, one of the guys you hung out with, good player that you looked up to. But, You have to get over it. You have to move on.
Yeah.
Right. It sounds like he was given every chance,
Yeah.
because I doubt you'd be kicked off or suspended for one violation. Right. I'm sure this was kind of a 3 strikes and you're out sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
they gave him chances to clean it up. He chose not to, but that's a message, right?
Right.
Everyone's fair game. Rules are rules. Standards are standards. So, like you said, take the shock of, oh my gosh, they actually followed through on it. Miles is gone. He decided to leave. Let that motivate you. Like, don't put yourself there. Even if you're not getting cut, if you're going to get suspended and then get upset about it, Matt Rule even said about Miles Farmer, respects him as a man, likes him as a guy. But standards are standards. It was little things.
It's one of those things that, so when we were freshmen, we had to live in the dorms, right? But then after that, you go to you have to go kind of fend on your own. See, I would have rather just lived in the dorms the whole time because then, I didn't have to worry about find right. I didn't mind it. Well, you got to go find your apartment. But, when you're in the dorms, you're assigned to a roommate or whatever, and there's no obligations because you're not, whether you live with them or not, you got people cleaning up after you and you're not paying the light bill and all that other stuff. Well, you might be all fine and dandy in the dorms, but then you live with them. You say they don't like to do dishes. They don't like to do their, vacuum, so all that type of stuff. So then, yeah, I like him, but do I want to live with him? And so it might be one of those things. And, a lot of these guys on the team, at least half the team, have known Miles for quite some time. And so it's a little bit shocked because he's going to be going on somewhere else, because he has talent to play. But ultimately, he's going to make the best decision for himself and he'll find a place to go. And, I would just always wonder, like, football is the payoff for anything that you go through that's not fun. Playing with your teammates. It would be hard for me to not to go through summer conditioning and not finish it out. But, things change and things happen. And I will say this, you have to, come in and set the tone, real quick before we go to break. If I'm a position coach and somebody asks me, because I'm sure that next time that they get interviewed, I'm sure Evan Cooper might be asked about it. I'll say, yeah, we lost a lot of production, but I'm also talking to my players. You guys have even more opportunity. You already had opportunity if somebody didn't handle their business. Now we're here. That's gone. So 1 or 2 or 3 or a combination or however many have got to replace that production and then some. If you're not inspired to do better right now, then you're just never going to make it, whoever it is. So you should see 1 or 2 guys try to rise to the top to take on that responsibility of that, of that position and leadership back there. So it's a big blow, but I also feel like if you're a leader, you wouldn't be in that situation.
That's just the thing.
Right. Because there's a lot of times being on Unity Council, there's a lot of that's the thing is when you have Unity Council, not everybody's it's not unanimous every single time. There, and so sometimes you majority wins. You got to bite the bullet and do what you need to do. So to learn a lesson, but then also it's something that Coach Rule has had to battle. A couple things. Well, I think at the top of the hour we're talking about some of the other things that they had going on in the camp, which is just normal. And we'll talk about the gambling in the state of Iowa and what does it mean? Oof. Is anybody on Iowa's football team next? Iowa State's quarterback or backup quarterback, he taking a break. Nebraska's transfer from Iowa basketball player,
gone,
taking a break. I find it hard. Now, like I said, I was impressed by Kurt Ferentz. I find it hard, as much as those guys intermingle, that somebody on that Iowa football team hadn't been placing a little bit of Betsy bets. So, Jay Foreman, Austin, we're going to get a break, get something quick at the end of the hour. Then we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
It's less than 1 month until the Guardians of Freedom Air Show comes to Lincoln's Air Park on August 26th and 27th. The show can't happen without the efforts of volunteers, and they need your help. This is a great opportunity to raise money for civic clubs, student organizations, club sports, and others who want to be close to the high-flying action. For more details on how to volunteer at the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, visit LincolnAirShow.com. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break, and on behalf of the entire 93.7 The Ticket team, we are excited to announce this fall we are teaming up with Husker Extra for the Big Red Brunch. We'll have big names from now and the past from Husker sports, and that all starts on Wednesday, August 9th for the Big Red Brunch Golf Scramble at Tiburon Golf Club in Gretna. Sign up to play today at omaha.com and find the Big Red Brunch tab. You won't want to miss this on August 9th at Tiburon in Gretna.
Join Rashawn Jackson, Terrell Farley, and Jake Bachhoven for the Captain and Ticket Water Cooler this Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the brand new Club Pilates studio at 84th and Holdridge. That's this Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Club Pilates at 84th and Holdridge.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: showers from likely this morning, then mostly cloudy skies will take over this afternoon. We'll see a high of around 84. Tonight we'll see chances from the late, otherwise mainly cloudy skies, a low of around 71. And tomorrow we'll see partly sunny skies with a high of around 86. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Jay Foreman, Austin, holding it down. Quick segment before we get to the top of the hour and talk about the gambling situation. I think this thing is going to really get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's kind of like
seems huge as it is.
It is huge, but you're going to start to see some players get snipered off a little bit. Right. Austin, I wanted your opinion on this out of the Cowboys camp. Now, I hate the Cowboys, but you know, anytime that you have a unique story out of training camp, I find it odd where an NFL player, Ronald Jones, free agent pickup he used to play formerly of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is suspended for 2 games for essentially PEDs, but it's for heart medicine. He has a heart condition that he's had ever since he got into the NFL, same medicine he's been on. But I think I gather that you have every year you have to, I guess, inform them that you're taking whatever medicine it is. So whatever medicine it is for his heart is on the performance enhancing list. He got suspended for 2 games. I want to know what your thoughts on that. They said he tried to appeal or take a second test with blood test and obviously give them, I guess a doctor's note per se, which is this is something that's been going. But he's got a 2-game suspension. Obviously, with Pollard just getting into camp, Zeke is taking free agent visits. A bunch of young running backs. You got your man, the new pocket Hercules from Kansas State. He's dicing cats up down there, but still he's 5'5", 180, not even that, 175. What are your thoughts on that? Obviously from the NFL's perspective, but then also the player perspective.
I'll start with the NFL perspective, and it's that I get it, but I don't. I think this is a situation where, say he didn't, report that he was still taking this med. It's like, come on, dude, you've been in the league how long? You haven't had an issue every year.
Mm-hmm.
But also the flip side of that is NFL, what are we doing? Have a little common sense. If it's the same medication from the same doctor, the one that you are on record, knowing that he takes, why you got to suspend him? It's probably for the same reason. Then maybe send him a follow-up like, hey, re-verify this.
Right. Yeah.
You're good to go. If I'm a player, I'm frustrated that there isn't that common sense in the league. But kind of like I was saying last segment too, Ronald Jones isn't a rookie, right? He knows he has to report it.
Right.
So whether it's on him, his agent, his doctor to get it in, it comes back to him.
Yeah.
It's his condition. It's his medication. He's got to make sure it's taken care of.
Yeah, it's a little different because he was with Tampa before. So that might have been this kind of something that the trainer there handled. He has a family history of heart issues and heart disease. So it's something that he's been on for quite some time. He's a big kind of free agent pickup for them. He kind of obviously be the backup running back, but had a really good year over the last few years with Tampa Bay. Physical runner that can take some heat off of Pollard. He's going to miss the first 2 games, which is, obviously, look, you're going to be missing paychecks when you're suspended. You're not going to be around the team. So you're going to have a little rust that builds up, not too much, but it's still 2 games. And it's something that his quote was, look, we have real life issues outside of football.
Right.
This is something I have to take and will continue to take. And so it'll be interesting to see if the NFL addresses it. But I also know this, that, as far as like, remember when Brian Cushing got popped for steroids, there's guys that take some normal medication, try to say it. I don't think this is the case with Ronald Jones, considering he has a family history of it and he's been taking it ever since he's been in the league. So if it was something that he hadn't taken and got through the process, he's 7-8 years in the league. This ain't the dude that just came out of the draft or something. So hopefully the NFL addresses it, and the NFLPA should jump in. They got to protect the players. So, yeah, they're probably chilling right now. But anyways, I just want to know what that was interesting coming out of NFL. There's plenty of other stuff. But at the top of the hour, we are going to address, obviously, because it hits home here in Nebraska, who went over or overseas playing basketball, already getting on the plane undermanned. I think the tallest guy they got is like 6'6". Now, which you would depend on your guards. Now, one of them is suspended indefinitely. Was on the trip. He probably back home now. Iowa State quarterback got jumped or got popped. We're going to talk about at the top of the hour. Jay Foreman, Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're an electrician, we've got a career for you. It's a career with employer-paid health care and retirement benefits. Join the IBEW Local 265 family and work for one of our NECA contractors. Come to our job fair on August 3rd from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Holiday Inn, 2500 Tamarind Ridge Road in Southwest Lincoln. For more information, call Mike Murray at 402-875-5500. 1034. That's 402-875-1034.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break, and on behalf of the entire 93.7 The Ticket team, we are excited to announce this fall we are teaming up with Husker Extra for the Big Red Brunch. We'll have big names from now and the past from Husker sports, and that all starts on Wednesday, August 9th for the Big Red Brunch Golf Scramble at Tiburon Golf Club in Gretna. Sign up to play today at omaha.com and find the Big Red Brunch tab. You won't want to miss this on August 9th at Tiburon in Gretna.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
It's less than 1 month until the Guardians of Freedom Air Show comes to Lincoln's Air Park on August 26th and 27th. The show can't happen without the efforts of volunteers, and they need your help. This is a great opportunity to raise money for civic clubs, student organizations, club sports, and others who want to be close to the high-flying action. For more details on how to volunteer at the Guardians of Freedom Air Show, visit LincolnAirShow.com.
Whether you're looking for a new place to call home or trying to sell your current home, you want to make it as easy as possible. So why not use a realtor that works harder so you don't have to? The Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty is your go-to realty team for all your residential and commercial needs. They pride themselves on working hard and making your life as easy as possible while educating you every step of the way. Contact the Carpe Diem team to seize your moment, whether it be buying, selling, building, investing, or even commercial real estate. Give them a call today at 402-429-8121.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox. KFXL Weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: showers from likely this morning, then mostly cloudy skies will take over this afternoon. We'll see a high of around 84. Tonight, we'll see chances from the lake, otherwise mainly cloudy skies, a low of around 71. And tomorrow, we'll see partly sunny skies with a high of around 86. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Gearset.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Do it.
What's up, Jay Foreman, Austin? We are back to Mercado, or Old School, brought to you by the Mercado, certified P by T, special ingredients and butcher shop, located 84th and Havelock. Every type of meat and every type of cut. As we mentioned going into break, we are going to dive into the, I guess, the NCAA betting scandal that we heard a little bit last year, and it kind of, I think, was buried. I mean, I don't know what it is about Iowa that they almost like can control the media a little bit until it becomes bad, because the Iowa Hawkeyes, where their weight coach, you heard about it, kind of, oh, we're dealing with it, went away. And then finally the players that had dealt with this guy got together, went to ESPN. They were like, oh, well, I guess since you guys are serious, we're going to fire him, right?
Right.
Well, it was, came out where it was multiple players, and I think it was all because of baseball, right?
Yeah,
right. Because it was during like these regionals in baseball.
Mhm.
Because the Alabama
coach.
coach got fired, and somehow it got into Iowa, and Iowa was like, "Man, poor us. We're just chilling, right? We're not a baseball school, but this dummy got us involved." Well, anyway, you start to hear rumblings about who, and it was current players at that time, and then it said there was multiple current players at both schools, in particular Iowa State and Iowa. Well, up jumps the cat. While this was going on, and this is the thing, when it hit the airwaves, you have to think they had done an investigation prior.
Mhm.
So one player that hit the news, or two, we'll talk about the Nebraska basketball team next, but the first player that hit this morning, besides the Denver Broncos player got suspended, and the NFL, when they suspend, whether you can bet in the locker room, and then they have like a betting room. Like, I'm confused about all that, right? It just even when we read the policy, it didn't seem right. Sean Payton even said it. He said, we read it and tried to go over it with the team for 20 minutes. Like, but nobody from the league was coming to do it, and they got a pamphlet, and so they pretty much probably did it,
Here you go, have fun.
yeah. And here's a head coach that has no idea, so that right there. But Hunter Deckers has been accused of betting on events involving the Cyclones, including a 2021 football game, and is among 4 current or former athletes at the university charged with tampering with records related to an ongoing investigation by the Iowa Criminal Division. More on Deckers. 366 bets totaling approximately $3,000 were placed on DraftKings sportsbook account linked to him, including 26 on Iowa State sporting events. They didn't get into whether he picked Iowa State to win, but they know the game. He did not play, so it won't be kind of an Arizona State point shaving thing. He started 12 games last year, was the assumptive starter this year, was going to be a junior, so he would have been a 3-year starter. And a big year for Matt Campbell, because he's on the hot seat, right? He went from the media darling. Heck, his name was rumored about Nebraska for quite some time. It was like a foregone conclusion. Even their AD was before Trev came here. There was a package deal. In a matter of 18 months, things changed. He's on the hot seat. Now he doesn't have a quarterback that started for him last 12 years and knows how to play in his system. You think of Brock Purdy from Iowa State. Matt Campbell does a good job of developing quarterbacks, but it takes some time. So when he picks one, he believes in him. Well, that guy is gone. And you got to think, if you're on the hot seat, you want to be able to, I always say, hang your hat on your quarterback position. Up until yesterday, he thought he could. His attorney, his advisor, said the quarterback is going to plead not guilty, but in order to keep the stress off the team and his teammates, he's going to step away from the team. Essentially, he's gone for the whole season.
The Matt Campbell aspect of this is fascinating to me. It's not his fault, I don't think. But did he know? I mean, it's a lot of student athletes on his team.
You took the great minds think alike. Hey, look, we've seen the thing. I don't mean to cut you up. We've seen this with Northwestern. Let's just play devil's advocate. They did an investigation. Fitzgerald was deemed not to know. He should have known. They're doing an investigation right now. You have a guy on your team that plays 366 bets. Here's what I mean. Before we get into it, college kids, what the hell are you doing? Well, I mean, what on God's green earth are you doing? I mean, straight up. I mean, all jokes aside, and I know, and I will go to bat for him. Betting and stuff is way more in their face now. It's on it's everywhere. It's on the internet. It's on Twitter. It's on every social media. You got NFL teams that are partnering with them. It's on every commercial on, like you see at ESPN. You got people. I mean, I get it, right? But I'm sure they have people on their staff, not only the head coach, player development, academic support, compliance. I'm sure they cover all this stuff. I'd still say, what the hell are you doing? What type of money do you think you have? I don't care what NIL did. You think you're going to be betting on other college kids at your university and trying to make, you bet $3,000. You know what I'm saying?
The what the hell are you doing goes so many different directions.
Right.
Like there's so many offshoots. First of all is pretty much everyone that's gotten busted so far bet on their own events.
Dumb.
That's always been a no-no.
Right.
Regardless of your age.
They're probably too young for Pete Rose.
You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be.
Well, he comes up every year for the Hall of Fame, but
Right.
yeah.
So there's that aspect of it. They're betting on their own games. That's stupid. They are using other people's names. Hunter Decker's used his mom's name. She's involved in this too.
Right.
Like trying to help him get away with it.
Right.
Aaron Eulis, who we'll get to, used his older brother's name, not Tyler, but his other older brother's name to try to get away with it. Didn't work. Then the money aspect. Where you can up with that money? Like the Deckers money, okay, it was $2,800 over 366 bets. That's small, relatively speaking. That's a hell of a lot of bets, but pretty small money.
Right.
Aaron Eulis bet 35 grand.
Right.
Where do you have 35 grand to throw around? Even if it's $20 a transaction.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
where do you get 35 grand?
And what type of money are you trying to make? I mean, I'm assuming both of them were on scholarship, and their scholarship money is almost 20 times as much as they get after their scholarship. I'm talking about their scholarship check. They have NIL money, which obviously I wasn't, we weren't a part of. Then they have, like, I know the Husker got this thing like on the weekends, like Husker Bucks or something like that. Like, you don't want for anything. No. You don't. And so I'm assuming that Eulis had some NIL money. Like, you're burning that. This is what you're doing.
Do you need to send it back home to mom and dad or something?
Right. Do we need to hold your hand and take you in there, checking and put in a piggy bank? I mean, but then here is, okay, now what are you doing? Now I want to ask you another question. What the hell are you thinking? Right? Because for me, as a quarterback, let's just deal with Deckers. You should be at the facility when you're a quarterback as much as a coach. Because that you're the first one in and last to leave, and you're there all the time. You're a part of the meetings, in some form or fashion of installing the offense, and you're the identity of the program. You're the one that starts the engine,
right?
And here you are. I mean, he had to have placed a bet while he was in a meeting.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you're betting $5 on the volleyball team. I mean, do you up there, asking, hey man, you're going to beat so and so? Like, this is what you're doing? Like, I mean, it's very, I get it. And again, to their defense, I will say this. It's in their face a lot more. I didn't have to deal with this. We didn't have any of this. We didn't even have a cell phone. I mean, only most, so we didn't have, it wasn't on TV.
Not talked about on game day.
Not talked about on game
radio.
day. I didn't even know that they even had casinos and boats up there in Council Bluffs. So I mean, that was just too far for me to drive. And I didn't grow up around gambling. That just wasn't what we did. I mean, we always played spades and hearts and stuff like that. We played cards, but we didn't gamble.
Right.
So, that wasn't a part of my upbringing. But I know these kids now Decker's 21, or Decker was under 21. The legal age in Iowa that placed bets, he was fine. But the thing is, these kids know about different stories because of the internet, and they've been exposed to it way before. I mean, it's like for this kid, I mean, I don't know what his pro aspirations are. I know if you play for Matt Campbell and you play well, especially in the Big 12, you will get a shot. Not only here, there's multiple leagues now. Now you've just essentially nullified that. Now, granted, I know there will be a 30 for 30 for this, so you might as well be able to try to get as much money you can to be on camera, but you're in a boatload of crap right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd ask you, was that $3,000 worth it?
How could it be?
Exactly.
How could it be? There's no way that the $3,000 there is worth ruining at least a potential professional career.
He's done.
NIL deals
At
completely out the window.
NFL level, he's done unless he gets to go somewhere and really, really turns it around. But he's going to be tied up in legal stuff for, it seems like, for the next year.
I mean, you didn't even bet enough to pay off your legal fees.
Right.
And that's, again, we kind of go back to where we started the first hour, right? How much of it is on the coach? How much of it is on the player?
Right.
Clearly, this is institutional at Iowa and Iowa State. So coaches definitely could have known, maybe should have. I don't know. But it's on the coaches to police their players, right?
Sure.
It's your locker room. It's your guys. You got to make sure they're in line. At the same time, as a player, if you can't put it down for 4 years, right? If you can't put it down for your career, at least in season, at the very least, that's a problem. Like, please go get help. It's not worth it. It should be so simple to avoid if you zoom out, not even to 10,000 feet, but get to like the 3,000 foot view.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, you got to think the Denver Broncos defensive player is a former Iowa State player. He's suspended indefinitely.
Yeah.
Like, dog, you got to beg to get in front of Roger Goodell. You in some trouble.
He has no idea who you are. You think you're getting an audience? Good luck with that.
Yeah. You done. Like, you're not done, but you got a lot of things to start thinking about. You need to start thinking about what you're going to do next. And then obviously how it hits home here at Nebraska. Aaron Eulis, who was a transfer from Iowa Hawkeyes, came here, and then he was on the trip with the football or with the basketball team. And then obviously it got out that he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
He flew all the way over there. It broke. I'm sure compliance called Fred Hoiberg, or somehow that conversation had to be had, and he had to go home or wherever he's at. It's a big deal. Now, when you think about it, for Nebraska, this has nothing to do with Fred Hoiberg and them.
Right.
Obviously, when Eulis went into the transfer portal, it could have been a little bit of a red flag because he started at Iowa, and then Iowa didn't really say anything when he left, right? It was like, okay, cool. So they probably knew he was under scrutiny.
He announced his transfer to Nebraska on May 1st.
Yeah.
The investigation broke May 9th.
Yeah. So now you dupe me, which is Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a problem. But now that it was all rectified. Another player in here is Iowa kicker Aaron Blum, which is interesting because we just talked about it like in the crossover in the beginning of old school. Are there any players on the football team? Because, it was charges that have been filed against Eulis, Iowa baseball player Gary Christensen, and obviously Aaron Blum, the kicker. So those three are in there. So here's what here's what the other question is. Okay, what's the starting point? Is there somebody that started this on campus? It seems like there's a figurehead, right?
Has to be.
There's got to be somebody that's approaching. I'm hoping that somebody not hoping. I guess I'm hoping for their sake there was somebody that was taking advantage of them. You get what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Like a bookie that didn't want to actually have their money.
Right. Bookie or another student that got them involved in it, and it took off way too far. Now, here's which is weird is because Eulis is a basketball player, Christensen's a baseball player, Blum is a kicker. So it's not like it's 5 guys on the basketball team as of yet, 5 guys on the football team, the baseball. So, Deckers, was the Iowa State player, Dodge Saucer, wrestler, Johnson, Panero, Johnson, excuse me. Then you have the former player by the Broncos that's indefinitely suspended. It's just different players in different sports. That's what's weird.
And that leads me to what you said about the ringleader, right? Because at both Iowa and Iowa State, Jay, what we're finding is these bets weren't placed in the athletes' names. They're using someone else's name.
Right.
So
there's somebody teaching you.
Taught them.
Right.
Someone gave them the idea, whether it started at one of these, universities, they crossed paths and they did it that way, or, there's 2 hours between Ames and Iowa City,
if that.
give or take.
Mhm.
So maybe there's someone in the middle.
There
They're crossing paths. Someone gave these guys the idea. It's all too connected and too
Yeah.
similar for it to be
It's
random.
just like the Arizona State
Yeah.
thing. And I don't know how he's reaching these players, maybe through social media.
Right.
But the thing that's kind of alarming when we talked about Euless 30 or essentially 35,000, right? In 18 or 1,900 wagers. That's somebody teaching you how to do that. Again, I'm not going to bat for these kids. Christensen, the baseball player, pretty much 600 wagers, only winning 2,400. There's somebody kind of teaching you these kind of like, right?
Mhm.
Like send you a text, do this, send you a text, do that,
Yeah.
make you extra money and stuff like that. And the only thing I kind of equate it to is, in the NFL, they had a thing where some players we have this HSA plan, but some players were calling up and using the funds for some, getting fake prescriptions and stuff like that for a lot of money. But somebody, you would do it you would get the bulk of the money and you'd be paying them, a percentage on showing you how to dupe the system, right? But there's always a figurehead, or always a the mothership. I wonder who it is because the number of, so Euless from February 2021 to December 2022. So it's essentially a year, almost 2 years, right? Or wait, 1 year, February to December. Yeah, about 2 years.
Mhm.
So for 2 years, that's 24 months. He had 1,900 wagers essentially. Gosh. So let's see how many of that it is per month. And this is on top of playing basketball, right?
Right. Like there's other stuff going on. You're busy.
Wait, is that right? Is it 80?
How many months?
24. So it's 1,900
divided by 24. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
that's 80 bets a month.
You're
That's
talking 2 or
essentially-
3 a day.
That's 20 a week.
Yeah.
Nobody's that good at betting. If they are, you're in Vegas. So that's
Straight up.
where I think there's more to it. I think the NCAA is smoking these guys out. Obviously, they're going to be disciplined, but they're trying to get underneath it. That's 20 bets a week as a college athlete. And look at the sport. Iowa basketball, you play more games. Iowa basketball is pretty consistent, right? They are. They had 2 number 1 picks in their programs, in the Murray brothers. They got the McCaffrey brothers. You had Euless. They had a pretty good run where okay, I can bet Iowa. They don't generally lose a lot of games out of conference. Like in the kind of funny season. So you can make some good spending change.
And speaking on that predictability, the kicker that you mentioned bet the under of his own game.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. That's what everyone smart is doing, is betting the Iowa under.
Right.
Because of that defense. But you're a player on the team. You're betting your own under.
Right. They're just making money. And he probably sees that offense all the time.
Right.
And he probably like, man, my leg is tired. I've been kicking field goals. So, so it's they're going to have to start talking, man. This is, obviously this is a federal case and very, very high profile. They're using other people's names, but they're coached to do this. Like Euless is using other people's names. Decker is using other people's names. Like, yeah, you might know this because, everybody, I don't know. I know I did. I forged my dad's signature sometime to get out of school and all that, but not this magnitude and however many, 20 bets a week. Then that's just like if you did 20 every month. Like 80 a month.
Yeah.
And that's not, did you not take a break during like holidays? This is like, this is counting you bet on Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, your birthday.
You use grandma's check to place a bet.
Right. And you bet while, away games. This is like every day, 20 bets a week. That's 3 a day pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's where I think there's got to be more to the story. It's definitely going to be on Netflix or 30 for 30. It's going to take some time. And it's funny, they'll investigate this. There'll be some players, and then you'll hear the conclusion like 2 years later because it's going to take that long to unwind all that. And they're going to have to find somebody in Iowa. And I want to, maybe you educate me. What's the connection between the Alabama baseball coach and Iowa? Is it the same, like they were investigating like just betting?
Just general betting. Yeah, there isn't a crossover there.
By coaches and athletes.
Yes.
Okay.
So the Alabama one was bizarre. So the coach was playing LSU for this game. Says it decides he's not going to throw this one pitcher. He's going to throw a worse pitcher. Calls a buddy up in Cincinnati. Says, "Hey, I'm not throwing my dude tonight. Go put some money on LSU." Dude walks in with like $100,000 to put on a random LSU Alabama game.
Right. In Cincinnati.
In Cincy. And they're like, yeah, this is fishy. We're not doing that.
Right.
So that investigation led to, hey, let's maybe take a deeper look. Iowa State.
All because of those dang Bamas.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
My question for you, though, with the ringleader, what's more likely? Is it an adult, like someone in Vegas they met online teaching them, or is it just some college kid at one of these campuses that had a connection to one of the players, the tree grew from there?
Yeah. I like to think it's an adult because
it seems coordinated.
It seems coordinated, and they're teaching them, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of these kids are smart and they grow up betting and stuff like that. But it's just and I don't know. There's going to be more players, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a wide variety of players. It's not just a football team. It's not just a basketball team. And you got baseball players in there.
Mm-hmm.
It seems weird that like there's no continuity. It's like the kicker from Iowa. He's not friends with the base. I mean, I'm assuming he's not friends with that Christensen dude. Like, how did you find out about this?
Right.
Like, if there is like one guy on campus that's like, hey, if you're like, oh man, where'd you get money to buy that Lexus? Man, this dude taught me how to just, he said, all you got to do is just take the money and he'll tell you what to do and he'll send you a percentage. Now I can see a lot of guys jumping on that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Seems like an easy way to make
because
a quick buck.
not even thinking about it because it's working out for my friend. And he isn't technically in trouble at that moment, or my teammate, or somebody that I know from the training table, or just know out. Well, okay then. And you know how it is. One guy makes it, and they recruit it, word of mouth. It's definitely going to be interesting because, I mean, Iowa and Iowa State, that game, between them two, the competition between them two. Iowa would like it no other way that all the players and stuff that bet and got in trouble were at Iowa State. Now they're in it together. They don't want to get in bed together, but they know they're both in trouble. They don't want to call each other and work with each other, but they'd rather still see you get more years in jail per se than them, but they're both going to prison. So it's going to be interesting to see where the guy started because between the schools, where was his home campus? Where did he get there?
Did he start at one, transfer to the other?
Right.
Something. Yeah.
Like it's not that far away, but it's two different schools, two different campuses, and you're getting some high profile players, man.
Like big names that we know that are playing those sports.
Right.
The last thing I got for you is, I guess, a two-part question. Number one, what are the odds, no pun intended, that's happening at Nebraska? And do you think the kids at Nebraska, that if there are any betting, are smart enough to stop it?
I don't think it's happening at Nebraska.
Hope not.
Yeah, it better not be. If it is, then this is your fair warning. I don't think so. I think this. A lot of when I watched that thing with the Arizona State, these they're very strategic, and they know how to read and know how to infiltrate. But you never know. But take Nebraska out of it, or just any athlete, because there's more athletes somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. Boy, them sphincter muscles is tight.
Tight.
There'll be more deleted DraftKings accounts in the last 48 hours ever.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Northern Texas-ish, maybe.
Yeah. You guys better figure it out quick. You better get a new cell phone, something.
Drop it in the lake.
Yeah, drop it in the lake, burn it in the fire or something like that, because you are in trouble, boy. Well, anyways, that was a good segment into the gambling. Unfortunate. It'd be interesting to see how this moves forward. I think it's going to move forward very rapid, and some other names might be coming out. But we're going to go to break. This is Jay Foreman, Austin, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Whether you're looking for a new place to call home or trying to sell your current home, you want to make it as easy as possible. So why not use a realtor that works harder so you don't have to? The Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty is your go-to realty team for all your residential and commercial needs. They pride themselves on working hard and making your life as easy as possible while educating you every step of the way. Contact the Carpe Diem team to seize your moment, whether it be buying, selling, building, investing, or even commercial real estate. Give them a call today at 402-429-8121.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Proud to be voted Best Vape Shop.
Generation V.
Is thrilled to announce our newest location is now open at 27th and Superior.
Generation V.
Explore with the largest selection of vape, Delta 8, Kratom, all your favorite brands of disposables, e-liquid, and premium THCA flower.
Generation V.
We'll guide you through our extensive collection to help you find the perfect fit.
Generation V.
With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, Seward, York, Kearney, and Beatrice. Visit our newest store now open at 27th and Superior in Lincoln. GenerationV.com. E6 contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
H&H Roofing, established in 2015, is proud to serve the local area, which includes the tri-state area in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. H&H Roofing has a professional team that are licensed and bonded, GAF Master Certified Installers, and an insurance-preferred contractor that will work directly with your insurance company. Also a leading roofer, siding, and gutter specialist. H&H Roofing will service all residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. Go to HNHroofs.com for more information or call 402-359-2546.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for Fireworks Fridays, Souvenir Saturdays, Sunday Family Fun Days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break, and on behalf of the entire 93.7 The Ticket team, we are excited to announce this fall we are teaming up with Husker Extra for the Big Red Brunch. We'll have big names from now and the past from Husker sports, and that all starts on Wednesday, August 9th for the Big Red Brunch Golf Scramble at Tiburon Golf Club in Gretna. Sign up to play today at omaha.com and find the Big Red Brunch tab. You won't want to miss this on August 9th at Tiburon in Gretna.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back rolling like never before. Old school, Jay Foreman, Austin on the ones and twos. We want to appreciate everybody blowing up the text, the views on the YouTube, so forth and so on. And just to go over some text, man, is like, yes, unknown texter, 3400, gambling ads are on the radio. We understand it's in their face, man. And let me see. Maybe Brian Ferentz would turn out to be the ringleader. Yeah. Then another unknown texter, 8794. He said he spent $35,000 if he lost every bet. You win a bet, it would go into your account and you use those funds to bet again. I think what they did was just look at the initial bets.
Right.
So they didn't look at the results. Look, if they can track whether you won or not. If you won $100,000 off these bets, until you find out who you were betting for, you got to pay capital gains taxes on that, right? Yeah, right. I mean, then you dealing with like what tax evasion and all this stuff. You up there just trying to make
Uncle Sam's coming.
Yeah, and you try to deal with just for making a free throw, so you in some trouble. And let me see what else. It's on Grain Day. Have an entire segment with it. Yeah, gambling ads on the radio. We caught them in the end. One of the texters, Bo Lever, said they had a teen learn how to hack their network. Caught him at the end. The kid they're charging. I mean, look, man, there's a lot of people that it can affect. It's not a funny thing. It's a stupidity thing. We know college kids aren't the smartest, but you got to give some people some leeway to kind of believe in you. You know what I mean? I mean, but I also understand this. How it was probably presented to these, if there is a ringleader kind of coaching them to how it was presented to them, just like the ASU thing, like you're not going to get in trouble. They're never going to find out. Then you get caught up into the thing of, okay, say you make an extra 5,000. All right, it's cool. It's not that big a deal. I didn't bet on my team. We're winning. No harm, no foul. And then they come to you and they want a big one, hey, we need the scouting report. Then you get in some trouble, man. So it's a lot of time. It's some intense times, especially if, say, like nobody in your family. Just imagine now. I guess I can just imagine if it was me, betting while I was in college, and I got to call my dad.
Oh boy,
hey, Dad. Hey, man, I just want to let you know before it hits the paper, I'm no longer on the team. Why? What'd you do? I was betting.
You boys in Council Bluffs, Dad.
Yeah. Oh.
I went home, made an accidental right.
I don't think I'd be going back home. I would just be here and on the lookout. Like with you, like when somebody like a robber is trying to look out in the movies, I'm looking out for my dad to come down and kick the door down there. I'd probably try to move as fast as possible.
Find a new apartment real quick.
Oh. ASAP. I'd have to get a new residence. I don't know, man. It's a tough deal. They got to deal with it, but Brad is saying he's joined the military at 18, but can't bet on sports. Hey, listen, I understand it. But they are also NCAA. The rules are the rules.
And there's a reason why the rules are in place, right? It's not arbitrary.
Yeah. Yes, pecan pie. I would be on the lamb. But I will tell you this, and not to make light of Ray Caruth. If I was on the run, you would not catch me in the trunk. I would be in Mexico. I would be a bartender down in a small town, like
Jose Forman.
Yes. Jose Formani or something like that. And I'd have to change my look up or something, but I would definitely be gone. I'd be ghost. But these guys are gonna have to deal with it, and they're gonna have to live with it, which is probably even more hurtful. It's something that they might have to always live with. What if this, what if that? But it's a hard deal to deal with. And the next thing we want to get into before we go into a break, we got about 7 minutes, is the Big Ten and the expansion. The funny thing is how Nebraska got to the Big Ten. Remember, it was just like this. The Big 12 is done. You got to be the first out the door. You want to be caught, slipping. Well, Nebraska left, and everybody else stayed in some form. I mean, Colorado went to Pac-12, but Oklahoma State stayed. Texas was there. Obviously, they're going other places now. Do you think that? I guess I wouldn't even say. I mean, I guess you could say there's still NCAA. Do you think, Austin, that the NCAA will let the Pac-12 die? I mean, that's a blue. I mean, you got to think the Pac-12. You got to think, and I know USC's gone. Okay, it will be gone, but you got to just think of the Pac-12. They're a blue blood conference, even though they aren't directly associated with the Rose Bowl. All the teams that play there, all the tradition. It just seems that the NCAA would try to push some sort of network to keep them afloat until the product can match up to get a bigger deal. Do you envision that happen, or do you think they're just going to say bump it?
I think it's the NCAA's job to care.
Right.
I don't think the NCAA does care.
Right.
If the NCAA were to be, a consistently legitimate governing body, they would say, come on, we get it. It's about the money. But you also have to think about the student athletes, right? The NCAA doesn't run the college football playoff. It's its own deal. So what I think the NCAA needs to do, if it gets involved at all, is put its foot down and say, y'all are going too far with all these other sports. Most of you, sponsor at least 15 other varsity sports. Some of you over 20 other varsity sports. Make your own football conferences. That is outside of our division, right? You've decided to run your own playoff. But for sports that the NCAA has the sanctioned championship for, you got to make it more geographic. You got to make it easier and better for student athletes, right?
Right.
Football's driving the money. The NCAA has completely lost control of it. That ship has sailed.
Sure.
If it's at all possible for the NCAA to take back some control by, drawing up new conferences, right? Returning conferences to where they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Like the old Southwest Conference.
Something. I don't know how far back you'd have to go,
Right.
or if you get like a consortium of presidents, chancellors, ADs for non-football. You have to reiterate, this is not for football, but for all these other sports to draw up different conferences that way.
Right.
I'm sure it would be a headache, but that's why you're the adults.
Right.
That's why you have this power responsibility to make student athlete welfare a reality.
Sure. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, what they do if they go hands off and like, oh, it's out of our control. Survive on your own. But decisions have to be made. You lose two blue bloods in the past. I mean, I would have never thought, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, would USC and UCLA not be in the Pac-12? I'd be like, man, you're out of here. I could see some other school.
What the hell?
Yeah, no way. But they're gone. And there's others.
They were the first.
Right. And there's others on the cusp of going. And the Big Ten is waiting, and everybody else is waiting. The other situation I want to talk to you about is with another blue blood school that had finally a decent year last year, that got their cachet back. Strick asked who I would take. He said Clemson and Florida State. Florida State's president just had a board of regents meeting.
Oh boy.
He said, listen, he says the dollars aren't making sense. So we need to seriously consider leaving. And now you're and I think when these presidents, they're seeing other schools do it and make bold moves, and you're looking at the TV contracts, and particularly you mentioned it, of the SEC and the Big Ten, and compared to their revenue share, it puts them like 20 to 30 million behind, right? They view where they're at, that their product is equal to, say, the Big Ten, but even if they're third, they're not $30 million per school third in the revenue sharing. So they want to get, if they can make up 10 million by going to, if they came to Big Ten, you'd be getting 60, you'd be doubling it. It's something that you have to consider as a board of trustees and as a president, because ultimately, like you said, you got to do what's best for the university first. Football program is going to drive it, which is obviously appealing to everybody. Florida State,
big time,
huge.
Baseball, Leonard Hamilton. We'll
Right.
see how much longer he's around. But this is where you asked about, will the NCAA keep the Pac-12 around? I don't know. To me, the fate of the ACC is in ESPN's hand.
Right.
Because ESPN has a great deal with the ACC.
Yeah.
Still a Power 5 conference they're paying that much for, locked in, not worried about inflation or anything. That's a great deal for ESPN.
Right.
The only way the ACC breaks up is if ESPN works with the ACC and the SEC to get the right teams in there to make those schools more money, to make ESPN more money from those ratings.
Right. And then it kind of filters down, like they cherry pick from the ACC over to the SEC, and then the ACC is kind of a really third or second tier league.
Well, you're scrounging from the Sun Belt at that point.
Right. Yeah.
Who
You're
wants
going
to do that?
Yeah. You're going to have some Arkansas States and all that stuff in there. I don't
Troy,
know. Troy and all
James
that.
Madison.
Yeah. Well, they definitely, Florida State definitely don't. I know might be gone. They definitely don't want to see Jacksonville State again. Losing on the last second and coach going on the hot seat. It's good. I mean, it's just weird that all this, and I know that school's about to start, and you got to start, do your bookkeeping, right? And as long as a year seems, right, for UCLA and USC to come to the Big Ten, where look, Oklahoma and Texas going to the SEC. Football season, once it gets started, goes really quick. And then the year's over, even though you still got school and you got it. But then they're like, everything's like logistics. Okay, how do we, as far as UCLA and USC, okay, what's our road games? How do we, they start to think about that. And they probably are right now. So these schools know they have to be ahead of the curve, because this is what these schools are facing. The Miamis, the Clemson can pick where they go, but say the Miamis, Florida States, the Washington, even say Oregon, Stanford, and a host of other schools. It's like you're playing musical chairs and the music is going. When you played when you're in grade school and they had the music going, do I take the chair? Do I sit down right now and have the safe landing spot? Or do I try to push it and get closer to the safe haven, which would be maybe like close to the teacher? But if you wait too long, you could be on the outside looking in. Now, we're going to go to break, but I'm going to give you a unique. I want to ask your opinion about waiting too long. That just popped in my mind, and it could be advantageous if done right. Jay Foreman, Austin, Old School. We're going to break. Come back, and I'm going to give you an out of the box thought process on this expansion or exit plan if I am a school. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're an electrician, we've got a career for you. It's a career with employer-paid health care and retirement benefits. Join the IBEW Local 265 family. Work for one of our NECA contractors. Come to our job fair on August 3rd from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Holiday Inn, 2500 Tamarind Ridge Road in Southwest Lincoln. For more information, call Mike Murray at 402-875-1034. That's 402-875-1034.
Proud to be voted Best Vape Shop.
Generation V.
Is thrilled to announce our newest location is now open at 27th and Superior.
Generation V.
Explore with the largest selection of vape, Delta 8, Kratom, all your favorite brands of disposables, e-liquid, and premium THCA flower.
Generation V.
We'll guide you through our extensive collection to help you find the perfect fit.
Generation V.
With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, Seward, York, Kearney, and Beatrice. Visit our newest store now open at 27th and Superior in Lincoln. GenerationV.com. E6 contains contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Whether you're looking for a new place to call home or trying to sell your current home, you want to make it as easy as possible. So why not use a realtor that works harder so you don't have to? The Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty is your go-to realty team for all your residential and commercial needs. They pride themselves on working hard and making your life as easy as possible while educating you every step of the way. Contact the Carpe Diem team to seize your moment, whether it be buying, selling, building, investing, or even commercial real estate. Give them a call today at 402-429-8121. You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and Koppel's big summer sales event is kicking off into high gear with lots of fantastic offers still going on. We've got 0.9% interest rates and trade-in bonuses on select new models. I know it all sounds too good to be true, but yes, 0.9% interest rates right now at Koppel. Also ramping up our back-to-school vehicles, and our pre-owned inventory is filling fast. We've got great new pre-owned and GM-certified units ready to roll, so stop on by the dealership or online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, showers from likely this morning, then mostly cloudy skies will take over this afternoon. We'll see a high of around 84. Tonight we'll see a chance of storms late, otherwise mainly cloudy skies, and a low of around 71. And tomorrow we'll see partly sunny skies with a high of around 86. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back finishing up. Quickest 2 hours of show business. Everybody says it, but it goes by quick. But with this college expansion, me and Austin we're talking in between break, and I was thinking, if you're a Miami and Florida State, if you try to work together and where it's advantageous for both of you just because it's the tradition, but then also from a business standpoint and a dominant standpoint, the quickest way maybe to get back to national power of where they were in the 90s is the possibility. Originally, I thought maybe going independent, but nobody has the ability to do it like Notre Dame. And only team I would think that would have been Texas. They've already made their decision. But if you could go to a Big 12 conference instead and just bypass the SEC and the Big Ten and go into Big 12 and get in there and be one of their top 2 or 3 teams with the expansion of college football playoffs, and to kind of be like Oklahoma always was there. Now you're well known, even though you're now. I think Oklahoma is on the not on the Venables isn't on the hot seat, but it's not as probably
they're shaky.
They're shaky, and he's not as appealing as originally thought. It's not a home run hire as they thought, and now you see why he hadn't been a head coach for a while, or before. So if I'm Miami and Florida State, or even like a North Carolina or somebody like that, I'm thinking something like that different. And I wouldn't put it past Clemson of doing it. I think Clemson would probably go right into the SEC because
whether they should or not,
but they're not scared of Alabama. They're not scared of Georgia. That roster is built just as good.
Dabo being an Alabama guy.
Yep, Dabo, and it puts him in a position to replace Nick Saban, and that's where I'd assume that's where he played. He was a walk-on. That's where he got his coaching start. That would be an easy transition right into him. They're kind of along the same lines. And it would be taking over a well-established program after building up Clemson. I always say he built up Clemson on a humbug. He was a wide receiver coach, intern. They struck out on some guys they thought they were bigger and better. He did well in his intern. So nothing.
Lost to Nebraska though.
Yep, nothing that was like outstanding, but his qualities as a leader became appealing. Be more than appealing to Alabama. That's where I think Clemson would go. But if I'm Miami or Florida State, I'm strongly considering it because I think I can pile up wins and cachet quicker than, you're facing Auburn. Auburn's always going to have athletes. You're going to be facing Mississippi State going down there. You got Texas, Oklahoma, LSU, Tennessee, Ole Miss. I mean, there is no where it's like, hey, you're playing Iowa State, Kansas. Kansas State is kind of average. You can kind of overwhelm them with athletic ability. UCF, teams that you can kind of beat up on, and then you just got to raise it up for, like the Oklahoma States. But you immediately move into that conference as year in and year out, the favorites are always in the conversation.
I'm worried Oklahoma made a jump they shouldn't have. Texas, this is always going to be a Texas-style move.
Yeah.
If I'm Oklahoma, though, I'm wondering, obviously they haven't played games in the SEC yet, but I'm wondering if maybe I would have been better off maybe next round. That's the fear of waiting too long. I love the idea of Florida State and Miami. Like, they would boost that Big 12 TV contract just by themselves. Clemson would as well. That's probably another $5-10 million per school with those 3 schools. The weird off-the-wall option is if Florida State and Miami and Clemson talk and say, we're big enough brands, let's start our own conference.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're not kicking teams out, but you're leaving your conference. Essentially, you're just recreating the ACC.
And just
but you're not inviting Boston College back.
Right.
Syracuse, you're gone.
Right.
Go back to the Big East.
You've been waiting to say that.
Well, I just thought about it over break because, you still want to keep Virginia around. That's a huge endowment.
Yeah.
Carolina, Notre Dame, if you can keep them.
Right.
But who knows what they would do with their allegiance. But if you can find a way to dissolve the ACC, put it back together minus a few
Virginia
spare
Tech
pieces.
Virginia Tech is a school you'd like, from the, that's the rivalry games.
Do you really need Wake Forest? Who's to say?
Yeah.
I mean, I know they've been around forever, but if you can have most of the ACC, but get rid of the fluff without actually kicking them out of the ACC, like everyone just leaves and you start your own conference, there's enough brand power in those 3. That's why the ACC stuck around as long as it has.
Yeah. That'd be a good option for them. But the hardest part is to get them all 3 to work together. Because the thing is, you got 3 schools that, regardless, because Clemson's been obviously is the better football program. You got Miami and Florida State still thinking that they're on Clemson's level, getting in line behind Clemson, and then it's also who's going to be the second and third. If they can get the infighting out, that'd be great for them, and also the TV money would be spread around smaller, group of schools. So they would actually make up the money on the front end, and then obviously have a long-term contract.
And the last thing on that I have is the ACC talked about going to that split revenue, right? Where it's not equal. It's based on how you achieve.
Yeah.
Florida State, Miami, Clemson should be at the start of those discussions, right? If you bring North Carolina, you bring Duke. Pitt has a huge endowment as a public school. You bring them along, they'll get their money.
Yeah.
But some of those other teams further down the list, if you bring NC State, if you bring Va-Tech, if you bring Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, schools like that, they want to hang on for dear life, right?
Yeah.
They won't love the unequal revenue sharing, but to still be in a power conference,
right?
They'll take what they can get, I'm sure. So you
Yeah.
can get away with that unequal share and give yourself more of the money, at least at the start.
Yeah, especially and also to keep them locked in for any future options to leave. It's something that they do it. And plus, if the other schools start to pick up the slack, it gives you more negotiating power to go back and redo them deals. But great show with me and Austin. We'll be back tomorrow. Strick announced, even though first game of preseason is tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. It is Strick's holiday every Thursday in the week. But Austin and myself will be back tomorrow. Appreciate it. We'll be out of here. Old school, we are out.
Thank you.